We had talked all week about how strong our culture was, even on the back of some of these losses to start the season, and that if we trusted in that, and if we continued to nurture that the results would start to come. And this game was a testament to that, because we knew it was going to be a game where persistence and being relentless was going to be the key. Virginia's got an outstanding defense, and that quarterback, I can't say enough about that guy and the plays that he makes. But that being said, what changed today is that the team that made the plays in the fourth quarter were the Miami Hurricanes. And the way that we went down the field twice, after not obviously moving the ball very well in the middle part of the game, to go down the field and score twice there in the fourth quarter, ultimately was telling you the victory. Defensively, the toughness of your defense, is defined by how you play in the red zone and goal line. That's simply it. Because the closer the ball is to the goal line, the more important it's got to be to you. And the way that we played, well, when they got down there close, to not let them score a touchdown with all the multiple times. I don't know how many snaps they had inside the 14-yard line, but it had to be almost double digits. And to not score any of those snaps, when you're talking about a player of Perkins' ability, that's simply a mindset. So I was very, very proud of the way that they responded. And obviously for Turner Davidson to come in and to make the PATs and make that field goal at a very clutch time in the game there in the fourth quarter was a huge shot in the arm to our football team. So again, something that all three phases can be very proud of. Very happy locker room right now, as you can imagine, and now maybe a little bit of a momentum, and we can kick on for the rest of our season. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Manny, can you take the process of deciding on Turner this week?
It really came down to warm-ups. We let it kind of go down to warm-ups, and he just had a better warm-up than Bubba, and that doesn't mean that's a permanent move or whatever, but we just felt like from a pure evaluating who was making the kicks that he was the guy.
Manny, what specifically did you do? I mean, it obviously was so noticeable. I mean, just the difference in how they played tonight compared to last week, making the stops in the red zone. Last week they didn't make any stops. I mean, it just looked so totally different. So what did you do this week?
Yeah, I don't think there's no magic. I would, you'd hope that last week was an outlier. That just wasn't us, But there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of pride in the guys that play on that defense. There's a lot of pride in that coaching staff. I thought they had our players very well prepared this week, and simply it was just a matter of just doing our job and trusting ourselves, and then it gets back to the part about just being relentless. Because that was the issue, because there's a lot of good plays out there that, some of the throws, we had unbelievable coverage, and some of the throws and catches that Perkins was making are things that we haven't seen in the last 3.5 years. It was high level stuff. But to be resilient like we were, I like to think that's more true who the real Miami is on defense, what we saw a week ago.
Manny, your offense, I think it goes after the first drive, I think it was like 33 yards on 23 plays or something like that. When a group, frustration probably had to be setting in on some level. How did they snap out of it and come up with the two biggest drives and the two most crucial drives?
Well, we had talked, in the team talk at the hotel before we came to the stadium today, we talked about being persistent. Virginia's a tough nut to crack on defense, and if you even think about their game 2 weeks ago against Notre Dame, that was a very tight game. There were some explosive turnovers that kind of created separation on the scoreboard, but even what Notre Dame was doing in the run game, that didn't really start to pop until the fourth quarter. So it was a game where time of possession would matter in snaps. They had the edge on because they were better on third downs than what we were. But, I think the neatest thing about our team this year is that we just don't panic. When things are going poorly, our guys, they get back out there and they go continue to fight again. And so I don't know that we were surprised to be in the position we were in. Now, that being said, we were making a lot of mistakes. We were missing assignments. We obviously had some shots down the field, probably about 3 or 4 touchdowns that were this close away. We had a couple of touchdowns that we got swept by the ankle that, had a chance to score on a drive that became a field goal. So, as always, there will be a lot to correct. And look, that's the whole thing we talked about right before the year. The execution is going to get better. But as long as the intangibles are there, as long as the fight and the attitude of never giving up and all that type of stuff, you can win with that, and that's what we did tonight.
Was there confusion with Amari when he stayed on the field after the targeting flag?
It's a peculiar thing. I think Amari was waiting for someone to take him off the field. He was just standing there, and they just wound the clock, and just one of those kind of odd things that I don't think we've ever seen that before.
Man, you talk about the way Nicosi played, just getting that touchdown at the end. I felt like it was really emotional moment for him.
It was, because what we talked about was, let's use Nicosi as a great example, right? The guy worked really, really hard from January all the way to August, right? Then he finds out he's not the starting quarterback. And it's so easy in this day and age to say, well, you throw your hands up in the air and say, I'm gonna pack my bags, or I'm gonna stop working. And for him to not only stay, but to continue to persevere. So what last week we saw the new version of Nicosia. We saw how much he had improved. And there was almost some strange, karma deal, the fact that he got to start against Virginia, and then the fact that he gets to, score, not the winning touchdown per se, but the, sort of the touchdown that iced it, or, something like that. For him to do that, that just shows, man, like, you don't always get what you want when you want it, but if you continue to work hard, it comes, and that's a kind of a mature concept. It's hard when you're their age, but for him to battle like that, I think it's a great example for everyone on our football team.
I guess, Manny, when you go back and look at the tape of this one, third downs on both sides of the football, that's something obviously you have to take a look at. How do you attack that in both offense and defense?
Well, for our side of the ball, it's been the thing where we've been trying to improve on all year, and our third down offense today, again, like I said, let us down in some situations. On the other side of the ball, it was a combination of Perkins just keeping plays alive that, other quarterbacks would have been sacked, and then he made at least two throws on third down, like I said, that were just such high quality at the catch, but I don't know, I can tell the guy to cover any better. So sometimes you gotta tip your hat to the other guys, but we made enough stops when it counted, and obviously the important was we made the third down stops in the red zone.
You've mentioned, I think, a few times this year, talking to players who maybe are frustrated about lack of playing time. Was that ever a conversation with Nicosia? Like, I think you talked about it specifically with Lingard recently, but with Nicosia, was there ever a point where maybe you guys transfer, but was there ever a point where you kind of sat down, talked with him about why it would be good for him to stay?
No, I think Nicosia just, all you had to do was watch the guy on the sideline in the first half of the season when he wasn't playing, and watch his demeanor, his temperament. He's done nothing but continue to improve, even when he was not the starter. So that's a good thing, because again, who can predict what happens during a football season? And that's, at quarterback, it's obvious, but, it could be another position where you have an injury and then God fills in, and, and all of a sudden, here you go.
Many of the decision to start Greg Rousseau, and obviously paid tremendous dividends. He had a monster game. You can talk about that.
Yeah, Greg he's been coming and getting better every week, and getting more sound in his assignments in the run game. And so, he went in there. We still roll all of our guys, but Greg, we've been saying this since his first year, when his first spring when he major enrolled, that we knew he had a big time future ahead of him, and what an awesome, and boy, it's fun to watch him out there, wreaking havoc.
Manny, your O-line, I'm sure it was aware of the stat. I think it was talking about they'd given up more sacks than anybody else. Virginia had just about more sacks than anyone else in the country. Did they get tired of hearing that over the course of the week? Or?
No, I'd imagine so, but again, as we've said so many times, every sack does not go on the offensive line. What they're doing, and what Coach Barry's doing a great job of them, is just getting them better, right? We got a starting point. You start, week one, really start the first day of training camp, and how do we get this group to be, more connected, continue to compete, continue to play hard. Virginia's got a heck of a test now, because there's not a play, there's about not a play during the game where somebody's not moving, blitzing, coming from somewhere, doing something. So, we had a couple, again, like I said, in the middle of the game, we sort of had some concentration errors. We had a couple of times when backs didn't pick up a blitzer, a free runner, that's gonna make it look like, the protection's poor. We had a screen that the back went the wrong way, just some things like that, and again, that it's so easy just to harp it all on that position group, and that's usually not the case.
Do you have any idea who goes into the week, QB1 and QB2 yet?
We still, nothing's changed from when I sat here a week ago. So the boy said that Jaron Williams is our guy. We know he can move with Nicosia. We're still, the question we have right now when we get back there is, how is Jaron? And then the second part of the question is what I mentioned a week ago. How does Jaron respond to all of this? Because there's a locker room of guys that know that we can win with all of our quarterbacks, and I think that's where we see the offense and how those guys can function, just with what Danny is just calling.
Let's do two more questions for Coach.
Coach, how validating is it? You talk about culture, you talk about change, looks and eyes, all of that. You were in a really tough situation last week, and then you're able, on a short week, to respond and also win.
Right. Well, as we all know, you talk about culture, but we're in a results business. You got to win. And as I mentioned, in our small sample size, we were playing really hard, and we were playing together and all this stuff. We weren't getting the wins. So for me, it's not so much validating for me, it's validating for the guys in the locker room, that we're giving you everything. I mean, they look at you and they can't, I mean, of course, everybody can play better, everybody can execute better, but in terms of emptying the tank every week, they were doing that, and they weren't getting the reward. And sort of walking that locker room today and seeing the guys that got the reward of the victory, and a team victory, you know what I mean, where everybody had a hand in it, is pretty awesome.
Manny, can you just tell us a little more about this kicker? Because we don't even know really where he came from or how he ended up with you guys.
I don't either. He ran on the field during pregame, so pockets over there. Here we go. So, Turner, he's been with us for a little while now, and you know, and has been getting better and better, and sort of kind of moved into the number 2 spot, and kind of caught everybody's eyes because he was making, you know, when we do 1s and 2s on field goal, and he was knocking them through there. He had a really good week, and so then when, like I said, when we got to the warm up today, he was without a doubt the better guy in the warm. So we said, hey, you know, the same thing you would do with the left guard or the wide receiver. He said, hey, you got to be the guy, and to his credit, he made him all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
So yeah, he said nothing has changed. Perry's still a starter. But if you want to believe that, that's on you. Listen, if you're watching, hit the like button for us. We live. We got Bandy, Columbus High School. If you're watching, hit the like button.
Trajan, can we ask you, did you know the kicker's name
Subscribe.
before tonight?
Definitely did not. I did not know his name. I was focused on the offense this week, coming up. And I really just wanted to go out there and just do my assignment. I think last game, you know, I was focused on everybody else's job instead of doing my job. And, you know, when the game came down to me, I didn't make that play. I just regrouped myself and the team, and you know, I just came back this week and tried to have a better game.
What does it say about you guys? Perkins is so tough to stop, both with his throwing and his ability to make plays out of nothing, his running. You know, how was it for you guys to have that kind of patience and be able to kind of get the better of him today?
Well, I just feel like we just had to be fundamentally sound in our assignments. I feel like we had to be, you know, we just had to be patient with him. You know, he's a scrambling quarterback. You know, he can run, he can throw it. So I think the D-line did a great job with just keeping him inside the pocket and just making him, you know, throw bad passes and throw the ball away. And you know, when we came with the blitzes worked for us. And I think we just did a great job as a team overall tonight.
What sort of impact did Manny have with you guys this week?
He just came in the defensive meeting room and told us that, you know, we just need to play better. You know, we didn't play good last week. And like I said, we just regrouped as a team. You know, we just came out and just had our best game. We kept fighting. You know, we're never going to give up on each other. You know, I feel like it's me to be a leader, to go in there and talk more to the secondary, and that's what I did this week. And, you know, I just work hard. You know, I work hard every day. I try to get better each and every week, and I'm trying to get better this week, too.
Did it feel more at all like the last couple of years, like when he was the defensive coordinator? Was there any of that?
No, it's not really a big difference. I think Baker's doing a great job. We believe in Coach Baker. We won't have his back regardless. You know, whatever the outcome be. I think Baker just did a better job this week of just talking to the team and making us come together and going out there making us play great. You know, the practice. You know, practice is the key. You know, it was our preparation practice that prepared us for the game. So we just went out there and played great.
What was the difference in the red zone?
I just think it's just relentless. A relentless play. The D-line was running out them. The quarterback was scrambling. They were just getting out there. And we just kept our eyes on our receivers. And like I said, we just did a great job tonight.
Does it feel like a weight's off your shoulders as a team a little bit to get a win? And
Nah, not really.
No?
No, not really. I feel like we still got more games to win. Obviously, you know, we want to keep winning. It's not it for us. We're going to go right back Sunday and try to get better and correct our mistakes and just come back and get ready for the team next week.
What brought out the relentlessness? I mean, it looks so different today than it looked even like last week.
I really can't say. You know, it just got to be in you. You know, I feel like we practiced so hard, and like Coach Diaz was saying, we wasn't getting our rewards. And you know, the guys just continue to keep fighting, man. And that's all you can do as a defense. And I think we did a great job of that tonight. I mean, like mean, I really don't know what more to say. Those guys just got after the quarterback, and we handled it up in the secondary.
I know you guys are obviously focused on defense, but to see Nkosi get sort of a taste of redemption there, scoring that touchdown late, knowing everything he's been through, what do you say for him?
He's a hard worker, man. You know, he always kept his composure no matter what. He cheered Jared on. You know, I used to see him when I was leaving out at nighttime watching film. I see Perry leaving out later than me. Like, I'll be getting in my car, Perry would just be walking out. So people don't see the things that he do outside of football, you know what I mean? Not outside of football, but just outside of just the team and everything, you know what I mean? So Perry deserves it. We always gonna have his back no matter what. And he just did a great job tonight. I mean, he helped us to the victory tonight. So we just thankful for having him as our quarterback, and we're gonna try to get back and get a win next week.
Trey, you talk about the play of Greg Rousseau tonight, his first start.
What's sorry?
Greg
Greg,
Rousseau.
Greg, tall guy, as you can see, he's very long. He has speed and he has relentless play, man. Take one step, he'd be like 5 yards. So I'm just like, dang, man, he's fast. So he did a great job of keying the quarterback. He did his assignment. He got out to the quarterback and he made his plays.
He's played some, but did you guys notice a difference at all maybe in the starting unit with him? He's a first career start. Did he bring anything extra maybe?
No, I believe in all I did. I think all of them got the same type of playing style. Greg was just relentless tonight. You know, he got out to the quarterback. He did his job, and he played fast. He knew he keyed the quarterback, and you know, he made his plays. Like I said.
You guys had two big stops in the second quarter, the sack on fourth and then the blocked field goal. How big of a confidence boost was that heading down the stretch?
Oh, that's a great confidence boost to the offense, especially. It gave them momentum to go out there and try to put points on the board. I think we was down by, I think it was up by 1 point. Well, I can't remember what it was, but I think the offense just they came together as a team, and they made those plays too. Give credit to Cozy, the O-line, you know, they played great tonight. The wide receivers, they played great. The young guys stepped up, and that's what we did. We just needed everybody to step up and make those plays, and then they was called.
Great. Thank you, Trey.
Oh, bro. Happy birthday, Dad.
So listen, guys, let me know which view you like. You like the full body view, or you like the headshot view? Let me know. What do you got? Any questions you guys want to hear? Any questions you want me to ask? Put up a good question in the comment section, and we may throw it out there. So yeah, the recap, he said Perry is still a starter. Bandy say Manny didn't make that much of an impact on taking over the defense this time. He came in the locker room in one of their meetings and told them they got to play better. Russo got the start this time. Guy can play. I'm not sure what the holdup was. Y'all like the headshot better than the full body?
Every player you ask about it, tall guy.
Look like headshot. Junior, look like the headshot is winning. Bubba Bowden can play. I'm not sure why he didn't play as many snaps as last time, but Bubba Bowden gets to the ball. He covers. I love his game. I mean, he has a bright future ahead of him. Always. Let's talk about Carter getting kicked out of the game. Like, I'm not sure what they're asking the players to do anymore at this point with the Carter hit. He hit him with his shoulder. The guy was low. I mean, he's going for a touchdown. I'm not sure the targeting thing anymore. I'm not really sure what the referees are asking the kids to do, especially in critical position like that. What you guys thought about the targeting call?
I don't even know it now.
If you're watching that, hit the like button and share it for
I
us.
was still like, Daddy, you want to turn Parker? Trevor?
I don't know, Rico. The press conferences are like Christmas. Somebody just pop. It's like opening presents. I don't know who's coming out here for the press conference.
That's me and my sister. Thank you.
Every game is
So if you're watching Sheriff, for us, hit the like button for us, Sheriff. But yeah, what you guys thought about the targeting call? I'm not sure how that works anymore. Right, electric. He hit him with his shoulder. I'm not sure if they're asking him, hey, just let the guy catch the ball for a touchdown. I mean, I'm not really sure what he's supposed to do in that position. Yeah, Carter was waiting for somebody to escort him off the field. That's what Manny just said. So it wasn't so much a Carter saying, hell no, we won't go type deal. He was waiting for somebody to come get him. I'm not sure why, but he was. So Miami, so what is Carter supposed to do in that position?
Yeah, like mathematically. Thank you. If they win out of 3, that's your shield. Where you at as far as right
But when your number comes up on the win, it's all that's a feeling. The whole conference.
Right, that's the thing. That's exactly right.
Yeah, you gotta win the division before you
Easiest part of this guy is
And we had looking back home.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So if Carter get called for that play, then that means the referee is basically asking the defender just not to do anything. I mean, either the guy catches the ball or he drops the ball. But there's no way to defend that play in that position. The wide receiver's low. There's really no way to defend that play.
Because all of a sudden,
And then just give it. Yeah, and then just give it.
Let him catch the ball. Yeah, I mean, that's what they're saying. They're saying don't do this. Yeah, that's what I get. Because I'm confused. Get him with his shoulder. I mean, it's for a touchdown. I mean, so we got Greg Russo coming in, the man of the hour.
Oh, wow.
How you guys doing?
I love the effort.
You gain more respect for Carter.
Greg, the first question for everybody today has to be is, do you know the name of the kicker?
Yeah, definitely.
What is it?
Well, I don't really know your ass. I'm kind of confused. I'm still sweating a little bit from
Okay. Just what this win means ultimately for you guys. Obviously, a lot of happiness walking off the field, but does it feel like it breathed life back into the season, keep you guys in contention, those kind of things?
Yeah, definitely did. It was really a big boost for us. Like personally, I never feel like any of us lost any life. Like even through those losses, we were always like we kept coming to practice, kept working hard. Like our demeanor never like changed. We were never like, oh, forget this. We were just ready to just go get that W.
When did you find out you were gonna start?
A little bit earlier in the week, probably like Tuesday. Yeah, like Tuesday.
What was your reaction?
Nothing really changed for me. I was a little bit more nervous to start, to be honest. But at the end of the day, when you get on the field, it's not like you're thinking like, oh, I'm starting like during the play. You know, you're just gonna go. So I was fine. I was blessed out there.
Greg, I was watching you a lot tonight. Very relentless. You took your game, up a notch from what we've seen in the past. How much did you challenge yourself with being named the starter?
I definitely challenged myself. I knew I had to go out there and uphold that standard. And even when I wasn't starting, there's still that Miami standard when you're on defense. You got to be a dog. You got to get after it, get onto the ball, tackle, all that. But I knew I just had to be even more reliable and just more focused and dialed in on every little thing.
What do you feel like it was that got you the starting nod? Obviously, you've been really effective in pass rush situations? Was it kind of about being a little more consistent in the run game? What do you feel like?
I feel like we got like 4 dudes. Like we got dudes at the end, and it's just that the coaches felt that it was best to just start me. But any of those guys can go in and ball out like Scott, Trayvon, Deal. All of them are dogs. And on Green Tree, we compete every single day, and that's what makes us better. That's what pushes us.
Looking ahead, the second half of the season, what's the mentality right now for you guys?
Still, we just press on. Win or lose, we're really grateful to get a win, but we're just going to keep working. Nothing's going to change about our mentality. We're going to keep on going and keep working hard like we've been since January and since the season started, of course.
Coach Diaz, his presence this week at all in the locker room, was there a moment where things felt different? Because it looked like the defense was a different, personality to him.
Coach Diaz definitely challenged us. He challenged us to get back to doing what we do when we went out there and did it. We played hard. We trusted each other more. I feel like this was our best defensive game, like by far, for sure.
How important is it to you that you're still in the hunt for the ACC, the coastal title?
It's really important. That's something in the back of our heads, but we go game by game, week by week, practice by practice, lift by lift, meeting by meeting. We're just going we're focusing, trying to just win days, win every single day, and then everything else will come if we just do that.
Did you have a personal sack goal for this year?
No, not really. I just go out there and just pretty much try to do my assignment, and then when I do my assignment, I get blessed, and then things just come to me sometimes,
Craig, you guys always competing, whether it's in practice or wherever, like you're saying, in weight room, each week. But did you sense after last week's loss, this team walked into the stadium with a little more of an edge?
Yeah, I think we did have an edge tonight. ESPN, primetime game. We were definitely amped up. We were ready to go for sure. Everybody was highly motivated.
Great. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Man, that island, Coach Perry.
Coach, we're just having a little fun with everybody because Coach Diaz didn't really know much about the kicker before the game. Did you know who the kicker was, the guy who made the kicks tonight for you guys?
Yeah, I definitely knew the kicker. He came in with me. We both were freshmen at the same time.
Okay.
We always hung out together, so he's been around for a while.
Okay. What's he like, and can you give us a little bit about his personality? I mean, when you come in as a walk-on, you're not the guy.
He just always makes everyone laugh. He's small, and I don't know, for some reason the small guy's always funny. That's what it does. He makes me laugh.
Coach, the last touchdown you got into the end zone, it looked like you really had fun with that one. How much does that mean to you to kind of put the icing on the cake?
It meant a lot. I knew the game wasn't over, but the way our defense was playing, in my heart, I just felt like I knew that we had to win. When we got that touchdown and went up by 8 points, I knew we were going to win the game.
Can you just take us through that play? I'm sure run was an option for you. Could you walk us through that?
That really was the design play. As you can see, I sent Mike in motion, and he was my first read. I'm not going to get through the rest of my progression to you guys, but
Yeah.
I had more players to throw to, but I just seen the hole after my first read wasn't there. I seen the hole and I took advantage of it.
It's nice to get any win, but the fact that it was against Virginia tonight, did that mean a little more to you with the way it went last year against?
Thinking about it now, it means a lot to me. But before the game, it was just we needed to win, and our opponent never mattered. Even in our losses, our opponent never mattered. We feel like we beat ourselves in every single game.
What do you feel like was the biggest difference for you between the two games?
The biggest difference, I just feel like we stayed together the entire time. Offense was challenging the defense. Defense was definitely challenging us, and we trusted each other.
What changed in the fourth quarter for you guys as an offense?
We just took what the defense was giving us. I feel like early in the game, we were thinking about the big play instead of the little shots to set up the big plays. And in the fourth quarter, it was just quick passes, and we won our one-on-one matchups.
going back earlier in the game, obviously, Coach Diaz talked about having some opportunities on the deep ball. Just missed on a couple of them. Is it something you really want to work on? Is that something you think is there for this offense?
Yeah, it's definitely there for the offense, and I work on it all the time. I never really miss those in practice. That's why I was laughing or smiling about it afterwards. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I was just smiling after I missed it because I know I can hit that any day of the week. So.
Kosi, talk about your touchdown pass to
Say that again.
Talk about your touchdown pass to DJ Dallas.
It was just a running back screen, so that's really his play. He made that play.
And Coach Greg was saying that this team, following last week's game, came in with a little more of an edge. It was kind of felt. Did you feel that on the offensive side of the ball as well?
I definitely did. I just felt like everyone was communicating more than normal. Everyone had a higher intensity, more than normal, and it worked out for us.
Was it a sense of maybe more so desperation considering the ACC standings?
I do not think it was desperation. I don't think we was looking that much ahead. We, like Greg was saying, we take it day by day and week by week, practice by practice, and that's our mindset. We just want to work as hard as we can every single day and let the results fall in place.
And now, Nkosi, how do you approach this coming week?
The same way, just prepare every week in practice, every day in practice, prepare for the game, and get better and better every single day. Challenge defense in practice, defense challenge us, and special teams work. That's all we do is work. It's a standard at Miami.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Wide receiver KJ Osborne.
We'll start with the kicker again. Did you know who he was?
You know what's funny? Yeah, I obviously know who he is, but I didn't know he was kicking until I got in the locker room. Yeah, I didn't know. We were in the locker room and Coach Diaz said special team, and then they held up Turner. I looked around and said, "What did Turner do?" And it was like he was kicking field goal off the court. I didn't even know. He did a good job. That's good.
That's halftime you're talking about?
No, like 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
I really didn't know. Like, you know, something when you get back to the sideline after a touchdown, and everybody's over there. You can't really see. You know, you little guy. I just see it go in.
Obviously, the kicking is an important part to this team. Just to have those kicks go through. What do you think that meant, especially in that opening drive? I mean, after what happened last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's just confidence. It's confidence, same way as a receiver. You know, like catching the ball, like you catch one, you know, you get going. So I feel like it's the same way maybe with a kicker. I mean, I'm not a kicker, I don't know, but I mean, just to see it go in, I mean, that's good.
What do you feel like changed for the offense in the fourth quarter?
I mean, I feel like we just started connecting. I mean, because we were driving and stuff like that. Like we'll be in the red zone. But I mean, we just finished, and that was one of the things that we were challenged to do. You know, every game, like a lot of times we get in the red zone and we were settling for field goals, we want to score. You know, that drive in a critical moment, I was able to punch it in.
Manny said the difference today was you guys made plays in the fourth quarter. What's the difference in the fourth quarter mentally? When you guys, was there something that happened this week? Was there something that just, I don't know, made the fourth quarter different for you guys this time out?
I wouldn't say it was nothing special. I mean, we executed. That's what it came down to. You know, like I said, the 3 games that we did lose, they were coming down to like the last plays and stuff like that. And it was some plays in the game which we could have back and things like that. Stuff went our way, and we executed. We was able to finish it off. So again, it was nothing special, but I guess you could take it back to maybe in our weight room. We talked about last set, best set. One of our team goals, win the fourth quarter. I mean, those are goals every week.
What was the difference in the way the team came out for the opening drive? You know, after it was such a rough start last week to come out with a touchdown on the opening drive.
One of our we're emphasizing the locker room was start fast. Like that's one of our team goals as well. We have a period of practice where it's called fast start. So that was one of the things that we were really harping on each other. Like in the locker room before the game, as we got on the field, like start fast, and that was a great drive.
Coach, you had a couple of deep balls that just missed you guys. What do you think was going on in those plays? He kind of said that he smiled about it because he knows in practice he did it, but.
Yeah. I don't think nothing of it. I mean, we just missed them. I mean, they're 50-50 balls. Obviously, we wanna come down with them, but we just weren't able to do it. But Coach, he knows he continues to call our number, continue to call shots. But I trust and believe in Coach that we can make those plays. We will.
Do you kind of remember what your like first impression of Nicosi was when you came in as a transfer? Just like either throwing with him or seeing him work.
I thought arm power. He reminded me of my old quarterback, Tyree Jackson. They doing guys throw. I mean, he threw me a slant today. I bounced off my hand and it came hot. Like that's the same way Tyree used to throw. So that's one of the things. And like you said, like he can throw the ball, so far. And I feel like that gives us big play potential. That's one thing I remember when I first got in. Was like the guy can throw the ball.
That was like an issue with him last year. It felt like he would throw the balls hot sometimes, and that led to a lot of the drops with this team. I mean, is it a big difference maybe from Jaren in terms of just how fast the ball comes in, or is there? I guess how would you sort of say that why maybe it's an issue for him?
Oh no, I wouldn't say it's an issue. I don't think it's a difference. Like I said, when they threw me, it was a tight like bang play I gotta come down with.
As far as turnover questions, with the stepping into this field goal role tonight and kicking, for it to be on national TV, and just finding out kind of before the game that he was going to be the guy in this rowdy crowd, could you imagine being in that position? What he had to do?
What was the beginning of the question?
Just basically, could you imagine being in his position, kind of?
Oh, yeah.
From the circumstances.
I mean, that's just something I guess you got to do. I mean, the kicker, it's almost like the quarterback. It's like a pass-fail. Like, you either get it done or you don't. So, when you miss, the whole world hates you, but then when you make it, they love you again. So, that's a tough job to have. And like I said, props to Turner. He did an amazing job stepping in and getting the job done.
As far as the edge you guys came in with tonight, was there more, could you feel like there was more of an edge to this team this evening?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, to come out here and start fast, we want to win in our home field, and just come out with a win. And it felt so good to come back in our locker room with a victory. It felt so good. So, like Coach Diaz said, we're gonna celebrate today and get ready for the next week.
Great, thank you, KJ. Appreciate it.
So listen, all guys usually feel like they say the same thing, that no sense of urgency, they play take it game to game, yada yada yada. That's always the rhetoric. Looking at the Coastal, looking at winning the ACC, and obviously the players don't look at it like that. They just stay focused on game to game. Listen, if you're watching, hit the like button for us, share for us. It's Footballville, man. We out here. We stay out here. Thank you for watching. If you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the alert bell. Follow us, Caneville 305. We out here.